Hi everyone, I'm Lorraine Barton from New Beginnings, and this is my sister Leilani Berry, who also has a channel here on YouTube, but she doesn't have any content yet. So, we're getting there.
We're here today to actually bring for our kids, maybe in the future, the ingredients that we use in the traditional cookies that we have every Christmas, the Lebkuchen, which is the same recipe that our mom used. We'd like to see if we can keep the tradition going on. So Lorraine and I get together every year and make the same cookies, and we make a large amount of them. As you'll see that we actually have to use a stock pot to mix the ingredients. So I've put all the ingredients together, and Lorraine is going to tell you how much of what in a single amount, and she'll actually put it below a recipe that you can follow as a single, because we are doing 4 batches, which is, you know, over 20 cups of flour. So that's hence the stock pot. Anyway.
Right.
Anyways, we hope you enjoy this, and I'm hoping that my kids will be watching this, and hopefully they will keep up the tradition. So here's Lorraine.
Okay. Lebkuchen is translated into life cake into English. And what this recipe consists of, a single one, and I will type it all down in the description box as well. It's 2 cups of honey with 1.5 cups of sugar. Now both of those items get put in a pot and has to be boiled, and then it has to get cooled down. So that's what she's doing now, is cooling it down. Then there's 2 eggs, a tablespoon of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons of lemon rind, 1 or 2/3 cup of citron, and this is what we use as the citron. It's the sunripe, there we go, the fruitcake mix, and we have to grind it up, make it real small. It doesn't look like that when you buy it, it's all little squares. And that gets mixed with all of those
Wet
ingredients, so you got like a little mush here. And then you also put in 1 or 2/3 cup of nuts, and it's 4 different kinds. It's pecans, hazelnuts, walnuts, and almonds. And then we kind of free pour some rum. Now we find that Myers is the best, and so
Now remember, this is going to be for 4 batches.
this is 4 batches, so
I'll
when
show
you
you
see it, don't get scared, because you're thinking we're
that
gonna.
first splash is going to be the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's quite enough.
Smells good in here. Okay, all that gets mixed together, and then we have dry ingredients, which I have over here in this huge bowl, as you can see. And in here is, it's normally 5 cups of flour, a teaspoon of soda, a half a teaspoon of salt. There's a teaspoon of cinnamon, cloves, allspice, and nutmeg. And all that gets mixed together, and then all this wet stuff gets poured in there. And this is hence why I'm wearing gloves, because I get to play in this.
She has to actually do exercises outside like Rocky Balboa.
And I get it started with this, and then when that honey mixture is cooled down, it gets poured in here, and that's when we're going to actually put it in the stock pot. And we have to put it in a chair because this is too high up, and I have to really, really mix it.
And on the nuts, make sure you grind them almost to a flour, but not quite, because you want them to blend in really well. You're going to see some flakes of the fruit because it's hard to really get them the tiniest, but your cookies will be a really pretty cinnamon brown.
And when we roll them out, we use a biscuit cutter, and they get put on
a biscuit tray, which we'll probably pause and actually show you.
The Opladen.
Oh yes, we do need to mention that. When we actually cut the little cookies out, we have a 70 mm Opladen, which is, I guess, is like a rice paper, or you could say it's what they used in the Catholic Church for the communion. It's very okay to eat, so don't get panicked when you see like little paper on the bottom of a Lebkuchen.
And those you'll have to order off of Amazon.
Or if you're in a German area where you can get German store, you can go in there and pick it up. So she's about getting that ready. This is cooling down. Yeah, we'll probably pause it so that y'all don't have to wait and watch us do this. Okay, we're back, and the sugar and honey have cooled down. Look at that mess. We have it in a stock pot, and right now what she's doing is she's mixing it and mixing it. That's the important part, is why the honey has to be cooled down, because she really has to mix it up. It's a dough now, and if it gets too wet, we find that we have to add a little more flour. It's really hit and miss. Sometimes it's 20, sometimes it's 22. So when you make it and you only do the single, you might end up with 7 cups of flour at the end, depending on the honey or whatever you're using. And on the honey, I try not to buy the most expensive honey, and the reason is that it is really thick, and when it cools down, it's virtually impossible to mix. So I find that the cheaper honey that runs a little bit better works a lot better for the dough, but it doesn't change the taste. It's still going to taste really good. So this takes a while, and once we get it all mixed up, it's going to go back in that bowl where you saw the flour, and then we have to put it in the refrigerator. And then tonight we will pull it out, and then we'll start rolling, and we'll actually come back and show you that after we get it all set up, and then we'll probably break and then show you how we put the frosting on it. She's almost there, but that's why I was saying she has to actually work at it. So I'm going to pause you, and we'll come back when it's time. Thanks.